I see the Padawan needs one last lesson. Tell me, is it the chosen one? He will avenge us.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your old friend Hexwing,
And his name is John C.
good to see you guys. Let me get this closed up here. Hold on. I gotta get the vibe right today, man. I don't know. I don't know if I'm excited or if I feel like I'm just don't believe stuff, or if I'm bummed out or I'm stoked, or where we're at. I don't know. This is kind of a weird time for me to be streaming. I know Tuesdays usually aren't my deal, but I did a video with Pro last night talking about this stuff. If you haven't already, go over to WDW Pro, check out his video. He's got like an hour-long video where we were all on a panel talking about this stuff with people who are far more intelligent and business savvy than I am. This is more of the fandom side, less of the financial side, but we've been seeing such interesting stuff coming from this quote-unquote development that I thought it was worth talking about. So we'll go into that a little bit. We'll talk about that today. I'm sorry, I'm shaking my table everywhere trying to get my microphone in the right spot. You're supposed to do that before. What's up to everybody in the chat? I see Coffee on Korriban is here. Good to see you, my brother. Graph Web is here, the most consistent man on YouTube. Chris, Dengar Renegade, Steel Johnson, Marks 47, Blackbird Tech, Jet, T. Davidson, my man, my brother from way down under. Good to see everybody, and of course, Ronnie. Ronnie, why wouldn't you be here? My old friend, my good friend. I'm finally starting to get memed on YouTube, which is like, I think that's been a personal goal of mine for a long time. I'm just so happy to see it happen. I recently got the Fast and the Furious X treatment, which I think worked out. It came out pretty good. Pepper Dion says, is it Favreau's time to come and save us? Look, I don't think that's the way this is going to go. So I guess I might as well just jump into this like right off the bat. So first things first, I mean, how many times in the past I don't know, 4 years, we heard Kathleen Kennedy is leaving. This is it. This is the end. She's out the door. She's tarred and feathered. It's the last time we're going to see Kathleen Kennedy. Yada, 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 yada. I can't tell you how many articles I've seen, how many YouTube videos I've watched that say KK is out the door. And to be honest with you, it's always been a little bit of a fascination of mine. It's been very fascinating to watch because I don't know if it's just me, but personally, I feel like even if Kathleen Kennedy gets the boot right off the bat, that doesn't just like fix Star Wars. We're not going to wake up and yub nub and all of a sudden Luke's going to come waltzing through the front door and it's like, you know, A New Hope 2.0 and all of a sudden George Lucas Star Wars is back on the map. I do not think that's what's going to happen. And we're going to talk about Favreau, we're going to talk about Filoni, we're going to talk about a couple other prospects and what we think might be going on. Even skeptics like WDW Pro say it's coming out. Apparently you didn't watch the video because I was on the video. I was there with WDW Pro last night talking about this stuff. And like I said, you know, I haven't made a single Kathleen Kennedy's out the door. This is the last time we're going to see Kathleen Kennedy, or like, you know, Kathleen Kennedy signs a severance package. I've never made one of those videos in my career on YouTube. I probably should have. I might have more subscribers at this point. But there's just something about this batch of news and something that I said myself moving into this year that I thought might happen. Just a gut feeling, call it the force, call it whatever you want to call it, that this might be the year that it actually happens. So we're going to find out probably by the end of August, but we'll talk about that a little more. I want to say what's up to the homie Loki's Mornings of Mischief. My man is in the chat, says, even if it's true this time, because God only knows how many times it is now, even if it is true, as long as Disney owns it, nothing will change. I agree and I disagree. So, I mean, the bigger part of this is that if Kathleen Kennedy leaves, while she may have been a large portion of the problem isn't with Kathleen Kennedy alone. It's a lot of the culture that's been created at Lucasfilm right now when it comes to making products. So if you just pull Kathleen Kennedy out, it doesn't necessarily fix anything, to be honest with you. I think it could heal some future wounds. So I know that just watching directors that come in right now, the rotating door that we're seeing at Lucasfilm of directors that are coming in and out, in and out, in and out, I think that might be at least ebbed for now. That might stop a little bit. But I really don't think until there's a massive cultural shift at Lucasfilm that anything's going to change. And to your point, the problem with Lucasfilm is it's very much Disney culture right now, and it needs to go back to Lucasfilm culture. That's the really important part, is that it kind of needs to drop the Disney culture and move to Lucasfilm culture. This is one of those things that I had hoped when Disney purchased Lucasfilm was going to happen, was that they were going to kind of have their own ethos. They were going to have their own set of ideals, the way they operated, that they were going to kind of carry on the way that ILM and Lucasfilm had in the past, and that it would be not necessarily anti-corporate, because if you're bought by a corporation like Disney, of course, you're going to have to uphold and, you know, stay by their standards and stuff like that. But regardless, you can still have your own ethos as a studio, because you see that in a lot of other places. But that's not what is exactly what's happened at this point. So I think they have the ability to do that if Kathleen Kennedy leaves. It depends on who they put there, but we'll see. We will see. Favreau's a hire, not an employee. Yeah, he's just a contractor, and I honestly don't think he has any interest, and I don't think at this point he has any interest in staying on, to be honest with you. I think he's twice burnt at this point. Pulling Gina Carano, and I know that's like a big no-no topic. People don't like to talk about Gina Carano. Like, I don't give a shit. I'll talk about Gina Carano all day. That was a really, really fucking bad idea, because I think it pissed off Jon Favreau. And beyond that, it completely butchered the timeline for the stuff that they were trying to make for this Mandalorian expanded universe, which I really think was the direction that they wanted to head. So as soon as you kneecap somebody like that and you kind of change everything, I think there was some acid in the back of Jon Favreau's throat. I'm not saying he threw Mandalorian season 3, but I can tell you that 1 and 2 look a lot different than 3. For sure. For sure. Chris says change will only really happen when Iger's feet are held to the. Who's going to hold his feet to the fire? That's my question. Like, believe me, don't get me wrong. I love this mentality of like, take the execs, make them accountable for what has happened. But the bottom line is that's just not the way Disney really works, honestly. And look, I'm not in the boardroom meetings when they talk about this stuff, but blame is deferred at such an alarming rate within these corporations. It would set the mind ablaze. Alan Copeland's in here. What's up, Alan Copeland? Good to see you, brother. Coach O'Dragon's in here. What's up? So, anyways, moving right along. I see Sam Aon in the chat. What's up, Sam Aon? Darth Wizzy Wizard's in here. What's up? Kathleen Kennedy was a hero for the prequels. Oh. It's weird because they don't really seem to acknowledge them. And don't get me started on Kenobi. I swear to Bob, if anybody says Kenobi was like a beautiful homage to the prequels, I swear to Bob, I got that. I'm not going to ban you. I'm just saying I have the ban button. Mumbo Jimbo says, Lucasfilm choosing to air Indy 5 at the cans was a real head scratching. Were they really expecting a positive reaction from critics at that festival? Okay, so I guess that's a good segue for us to kind of go into what I think is going on at Lucasfilm right now. Why I think this is really odd. The timing of everything that they've done is strange. It is very strange. And maybe it's nothing. Maybe it was a coinky dink. I'll be honest with you. That shit happens. This did not seem like a coinky dink. So Kathleen Kennedy goes into premiere of Indy 5 at Cannes with Iger, by the way. Iger is there. While she's in the movie, the numbers drop. They say, by the way, we're closing the Galactic Star Cruiser. I have to feel like she would have known before she went into that movie that the Galactic Star Cruiser was closing. Like, I don't feel like they held an emergency board meeting at the last 5 minutes and basically said, by the way, while she's in the movie, let's release the news that the Star Cruiser is closing. It's doing their last voyage in September. But there's always a but. If it was intentional, that is a perfect way to shine a very bad light on Kathleen Kennedy, steal the thunder from Indy 5, which was apparently non-existent, by the way. And believe me, I went through all of these articles with actually quite a few people looking at the reviews for Indy 5, and I haven't seen the movie, so I'm not going to bash it personally, but honestly, the amount of negativity that came out from large news sources reviewing this movie with no embargo, they just said, whatever, let's just let them drop the movie reviews. They were not good. They were scathing. It was like something that should have been left in the closet. We should have just, it was not good. And other articles that came out that said people were in the theater talking because they were so bored. So not only do you have that hit, but then beyond that, instead of coming out of the theater and being able to talk about Indy 5 and yada yada, putting a nice face on or anything like that, now she's got to answer a bunch of questions about Lucasfilm, answer a bunch of questions about the parks, what's going on with the Galactic Star Cruiser. It really sucked the air out of the room for Kathleen coming out of the Indy premiere. And that's the craziest part, is that you've got one of your executives in a foreign land at a movie premiere, and those are the questions that you're going to be faced with coming out of a movie premiere. That seems really odd to me. So there's something that tells me this was not so much of a coinky dink, that maybe this was more of a, I don't want to say a targeted move, but kind of a push to say, we have justification to go a different direction than Kathleen Kennedy. So that's just step number one. That's the first part of this whole thing in a nutshell. That's it. And it's, I mean, there's something to be said there. Dan Pleagle Boob Danart. What a name. Dan Pleagle Boob Danart says, nothing is a coincidence with major corporations. Yeah, I tend to believe that myself. Everything is by design. Everything is by design. Is that Isaiah Mladi? Says, it would behoove them to seek a proctologist for rectal cranial surgery. Well, they've certainly got it so far up their bum right now that they're pulling teeth out of their sphincter. There's been a lot of hubris. That's the big thing. This is what I've noticed with Lucas, at least what I would call the upper echelon of Lucasfilm right now is pure fucking hubris. The decisions that are made seem to fly in the face of reason, fly in the face of any financial or economical decision that would make sense. So the only explanation at that point would be hubris. You're going to like it, and we're going to keep making it. And people are like, nah. And they're like, well, yes. It's not working out for them so far. Spencer Keefe in the chat says, Shalom. What's up, man? You're not Jewish. What is that about? All right, I'm trying to keep up with chat here. Let me go. Sam Aon says, even the BBC review bombed it. Damn, dude. Yeah, I'm gonna hold my reservations until I see it. Turn this music down. This shit's blasted in my ear right now. Let's lock that down to like a healthy 8. Actually, you know what? We're talking about Indiana Jones. Why don't we just let's get that to like a 10. Let's put some Indiana Jones lo-fi on. Talking about Indy. So the crazy part, yeah, Sam Aon knows it. Sheer fucking hubris. The crazy part about Indy and why I think this movie is so interesting is that like we had our movies before. We got the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, which I was not a big fan of. A lot of people really hated it. I feel like I should take that back. I really didn't like it. It seems to have softened over the years. A lot of people are like, at this point, it seems more just kind of like a misdirection as opposed to a flagrant FU to Indy. That does not appear to be the case with the reviews for this movie, but I'm going to hold out until I watch it and I'll formulate my own opinions. Please don't formulate everything you do off of certainly not a critic's website, but definitely not a YouTuber and what they're telling you. Gatekeepers Daimyo for $1.99 says, sup, brother? Good stream with WDW Pro. Yeah, man, we had a lot of fun. It always gets wild over there. You got so many eccentric dudes that are just, they are so knowledgeable about so many different things when it comes to the industry, when it comes to financials, taxes, working capital for these companies. Not only that, but the people that are involved, the organization charts. I mean, honestly, if you haven't already, get over to WDW, get over to Valiant. All the those are I consider them like my big brothers on YouTube because they know what the fuck they're talking about. I have no idea. But it's time to dance, Mr. Daimyo. Let's go. Small announcement really quick. 2 small announcements, actually. I'm going to fluff my feathers a little bit. I want to thank everybody for being here and everybody who's newly subscribed that's come to the channel. Thank you so much. This channel has been exploding recently, and we are now under 1,500 subs away from hitting the penultimate goal for YouTube of hitting 10,000 subs. It's really incredible to even say out loud or to think that I could have such an amazing group of people hanging out with me here on the internet talking about this stuff, but it's real and it's in front of my face now. So thank you to you guys for that. It's amazing. This has been a dream ride for me. So thank you guys. And having said that, we're going to bring back pop-ins tonight. We're going to do some pop-ins towards the end of the stream. We're going to bring everybody in if they want to talk, speculate on some of this stuff. If you have some ideas of if Kathleen's headed out the door, who it could be that could take it over. I've certainly heard some things from some other people, some other sources. I just can't bring myself to be that guy that the mask, I cannot confirm or deny which source actually told me this information. But it's kind of one of those things. So, you hear names here and there, but you try not to, you try not to be a dummy. Black Saber's in the chat says, greetings. Hello, Black Saber. Nice to meet you. I like that profile pic, man. Nothing looks sexier than an Imperial pilot, man. Those TIE pilots just look so good. Maria Spino's in the chat says, yo, still in a meeting, for fuck's sake. I have some really cool other news for you. We're going to take a break and then we're going to pop back into it because I have some really cool news. I'm going to put a video out on this fairly soon. I can't do it before May 25th, but as many of you know, probably if you're in the Discord or we talk regularly, I've gotten some voice acting work, and I'm very happy to announce that I'm going to be in a fan project movie as a bad guy. So more to come on that. Keep an eye on Twitter. I'll put some stuff on the community page as well. We're going to be doing a stream 2 days from now. So is that Thursday? I'm trying to keep my head wrapped. Thursday, 5/25, real Star Wars Day. We are going to be doing a first look at the fan project, The Chosen One, which is a continuation of the sequel story. But hold on, just wait. There is Ben and Rey in this movie, but there's a lot more to it. There is a lot more to it, I promise. And look, if I was involved in the project, it's worth you guys at least actually looking at. So stop by. The channel is after the sequels. Just stick it on your calendar, pop by. I'm going to be talking about my role. We're going to be talking about the music. We're going to be talking about fandom in general and what this project means. I'm excited about it. But Mexican Iron Man is in the chat. Yo, what's up, brother? It's like your first time in my chat ever. This chat's moving way too fast for me, by the way. Sounds like this movie will make Crystal Skull look like Shakespeare. That's what I'm really afraid of. That's what I'm really afraid of. And it is kind of sounding that way. Anakin Skywalker's in the chat. What's up, dude? I was just talking about you. Okay, all right, I gotta go. Okay, I gotta move on. Darth Wizzy Wizard has 146 million subs. That's crazy. All right. I promise I'm not ignoring you guys. I just have to get caught up so we can actually keep talking about this stuff. Okay, so the next interesting bit that I wanted to talk about is I've heard, not from WDW Pro and Mexican Iron Man and all those cool guys up on YouTube, that there actually is a candidate in mind from the board about who may want to take over at Lucasfilm. Now, I have my reservations about this because it was recently upgraded at Disney. But you know how it is. Corporations like to hire from inside. You're already part of the culture. You already kind of know what's going on. The rumor mill is that you would have an executive move from one side of the company to the other to head off the studio because they already know what they're doing. And then you would have some creatives follow him up. So what I've heard is that James Pitaro may take over studio head and then leave the creative aspects of it. Basically, you sign your executive, your executive creator. I don't even know what the name of the position would be. Executive creative director to Doug Chiang and Dave Filoni. So now you basically have what I think the way they wanted to structure Lucasfilm actually occurring. And this is something that we were talking about on WDW Pro right now. At this point, you have Kathleen Kennedy kind of sitting in the middle and then spokes and wheels going out, and everything has to go through KK. That would not be what the job of this new executive would be. You would have an executive running the studio, and then you would have creatives in charge of actually creating the content for the studio in Doug Chiang and Dave Filoni. So here's my thoughts on this, because this is kind of a slippery slope, but I fucking love Doug Chiang. Doug Chiang was responsible for the majority of the Star Wars that I loved in my childhood. Obviously, George Lucas, everything with the prequels. But when it comes to actually seeing what George envisioned and what he wanted on screen and the design and the feeling and the ethos of Star Wars, Doug Chiang's your boy. Like, I don't give a shit what anybody says. Doug Chiang is the boy for that. So if you put that in line with, and this is going to be kind of fucking hard for some of you guys to swallow right now, okay? This is going to be a little tough. If you put Filoni with Doug Chiang, there's a possibility that this works. Now, I've said this before, and I'm going to stand my ground on it. I have a problem with Dave Filoni. Having said that, post-sale, Filoni has made good Star Wars before. I'm not saying he makes all the good Star Wars. There are a lot of people out there who are like, they just want Filoni's dongle in their oral receptacle. They're like, he's the chosen one. He's the greatest thing that's ever happened in Star Wars. I can't buy into that. So this is where it gets a little tough for me. But having said that, I don't know that there's a better option at this point other than putting Favreau in. So if I had Favreau and Doug Chiang, I would be the happiest man in the world. I think Favreau with Doug Chiang, you've got a good idea about direction, the way it feels. Obviously, Favreau is a skilled storyteller, and we know that for a fact. Other than what happened with Mandalorian Season 3, which I still feel like I can't fully explain. I don't know what happened there. I still can't fully explain it. Other than that, I still feel like Favreau is such a good choice for it. Does that mean he's going to take it? Again, this goes back to what I said, what was that, 20 minutes ago? I think he's twice burned at this point. I don't think he wants that job. I don't think he wants to be that closely associated with Lucasfilm. So the odds of that happening, slim to none. Beyond that, what happens to Filoni if you pump Favreau up to that position? Does Filoni just stays as a creative director and now it's a threesome? Those two don't really make sense. So something has to give here. I just don't know what it is. But the idea is essentially what's been said is that, Kathleen's contract is up in 2024. What we're hearing is that the contract negotiations are actually going to happen in August. So my idea was that Indy 5 comes out 3 weeks later, she's going to be in negotiations. It looks like I was really fucking close. It looks more like it's going to be like 5 or 6 weeks out, maybe 7 or 8 weeks out, but pretty damn close if this stands to be true. So if that stands to be true, they're going to hopefully be doing a little better than what they did with, Disney did with Paycheck, where they basically just said, like, peace, Iger, do you mind filling in for a little bit? I hope they're already grooming somebody for the role. If I had to guess, I really have to think that Filoni would be that person that they're grooming, because you have to look at this pragmatically. He's one of the only dudes that's gotten his whole own series already, because they have their stable of directors that they love to pull for all of these different projects. But Filoni's doing Ahsoka. Filoni is doing Ahsoka. So, if I had to guess, all of those puzzle pieces that I was saying, so Pitaro taking over as the executive, Filoni in a creative position, Doug Chiang in a creative position that's somehow elevated from where they are now, kind of working together to take on the actual creative aspects of the studio while leaving an executive out of it. That structure seems to work for me. I don't know money-wise how they're going to make that work, but it's fucking Disney. They have so much freaking money. Now, Shane, let's start hitting some chats up in here. Pepper Dion says, Felony is still a KK acolyte cuck. So, I was on a video. I think I was with Valiant Renegade and WDW. I think I was with Lauren too, and I described Dave Filoni as a goldfish. He will grow to the size of the tank that you give him, but a very subservient, very yes man kind of dude when it comes to like what they want to see from Star Wars. And I think that a portion of that may be just his agreeability, where, he wants to please the studio heads because he wants to go far. And then maybe at some point he gets to a point where he can make whatever kind of Star Wars he wants. Or he could be just a freaking yellow belly. But I don't know. I don't know, honestly. The problem with Disney is that the situation is so dynamic. I don't think you can really judge exactly what people are like when they have to interact with Disney. So if they were free from that bond and they were able to do whatever they wanted to do, I think it would be a completely different situation. Tough to say. Doc Fortune says, it's possible for Filoni to do good things, but he's pretty high up. Favreau is their best choice. If they're too proud to choose it, then it's going to be subpar without him. Man, it's just so tough. If Mandalorian Season 3 never happened, I would be so on board with you. Like 100%. If Mandalorian Season 3 never happened, I would be like, you better get fucking Favreau in that chair right now, man. Like, you give him that job. But Mandalorian Season 3 did happen. The firing of Gina Carano did happen, and those are just two big factors that you really can't ignore when it comes to his involvement with Lucasfilm. And like I said, Twice Burned, I don't think if they offered it to him, he'd take it. Legitimately. Peak Obi-Wan says, Season 3 Amanda was weak because Dave wasn't there at all. Honestly, as much as I hate to say it, I think there may be some truth to that. Like I said, I have problems with Dave Filoni, but he at least, like a rail car guy, generally tries to keep things on the track. Maria says, Jon Favreau would then be completely limited to what he can do and not create outside of Lucasfilm. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He kind of reminds me of like an older George, where he just wants to make shit. I mean, look at the movies that he's made. If you look at his filmography and like the big movies he's made, he went into the comic book industry and made Iron Man, and then he went and made a fucking spoof Christmas movie and made Elf, and then he fucked off and made a Chef's movie, and they were all incredible movies. But he's like me. He's kind of like ADH artard, where he just wants to go off and make whatever the fuck he wants to make. So being constricted to a certain area, as much as he loves Star Wars, I don't think it'd be a good idea. I don't think it'd be a good idea. My boy Andy P, my best friend, he says, hit the like button if X-Wing should lead Lucasfilm. Let's get some X-Wings in the chat if you think I should lead Lucasfilm. I'd be interested to see who in the chat thinks I should lead Lucasfilm. There's gonna be a shitload of Death Stars in the chat. They're like, fuck off, man. We don't like you. Senator Amidala says, I might be an idiot for thinking this. By the way, a big fan, Amidala. I might be an idiot for thinking this, but I think her time is finally up. But that means Filoni will take over. Ugh. That's kind of where I'm at. He's too agreeable, which means he will sacrifice anything he's asked to without contest or compromise. And that's why I kind of think, does it make sense if he's a studio head that he can do whatever the fuck he wants? Or do we not trust him? Like, did we just wind up with KK 2.0? I don't think so. Maybe. Maria says, trust me, you do not want John or Dave or Doug to take over studio head. Well, that's the thing. And that's what I've been saying this whole time, is I don't think they're going to be the one to take over the studio head. Oh, yeah, and fucking Lion King, which that movie was fine. I know there are a lot of people out there who are like, that movie sucked ass. Is that a battleship? I just called you my best friend. You're not even a fucking member of my channel. Andrew, are you kidding me? I hope you shoot 135 in your next golf game. Cambrian says, I don't trust him. That's due cause, man. I mean, you're not without reason for saying that, but this is kind of like, you know, to me, let me share this. Hold on. I think I could just share a window, can I? Yeah. I wanted to pull this up just to show you, like, how long this shit's been going on. Posted December 15th, 2022, and this is, like, one of the most recent articles. Kathleen Kennedy signs a severance deal with Lucasfilm, according to new rumor. Like, nope, never fucking happened. Never fucking happened. And I'm just so tired of this. I'm tired of the cyclical, like, KK's gone, yeah. Like, legitimately, even with her gone, I don't know what changes right off the bat. And so if we're looking at a time frame for this thing to be fixed, dude, best shot, I was saying 5 years, maybe 5 years. And I'm talking about like TV content. I'm not even talking about going to the silver screen. If they decide to make a change, and here's the other thing you have to think about too. They've just announced a new Rey movie, a Dave Filoni movie. What happens if she leaves? You know, just say they go into contractual talks in, you know, late August at best. Is she even gone before the first of the year? I doubt it. Maybe they stick her in a legacy position somewhere. It's possible, but then does that really signal a change if we're looking at getting a Rey movie right after? Well, they may want to still continue that legacy of the sequels, which I just don't think is a good idea. I just don't think we're going to see that rapid of a change with somebody else taking over the studio. I don't think it's going to be that rapid. I think the sequels are they're going to be around for probably the next 5 to 7 years before they really get the fucking idea that it's time to move on. Regardless of what just happened with the Star Cruiser, which, by the way, Disney, they are in such a panic right now that it was a better idea to literally scrap the hotel and take it as a write-off, because they have such little working capital. They have to put that write-off against the money they're actually making in the park to make this work. It's incredible. It's incredible the position that Disney's in right now. And I really, really wish that they had treated Star Wars the way that it needed to be treated, because they would just be making so much money right now. They'd be making so much money on it. And before Maria Spino comes in the chat and says, they're making so much money off of Star Wars Galaxies, that mobile game, it's ridiculous. I don't give a shit. The people who make money in this business in Disney, it's the parks. It's always going to be the parks. And this is something very interesting. Hold on, let me switch over I got to get back to Star Wars music. Let's put some John Williams lo-fi on if we're going to be talking about Star Wars. Oh my God, is it really that much? Oh, from a mobile game, $3 billion a year. I don't have that shit on my phone. I couldn't bring myself to. This is just ridiculous. Ugh. What did I miss here? Ray belongs with X. Ray belongs with X-Wings in a co-star role? No. No. Maria says, I'm telling you guys, person to look at is Linneman Brennan, who's GM and executive vice president next to KK. No, it's not the person that anybody's going to look at. I'm telling you right now. And the bottom line is, like, regardless of who is to blame at this point, if you want to see a stock jump before all the shit goes off, I would be willing to take a bet that the news of Kathleen Kennedy leaving Lucasfilm, going to some kind of legacy position in Disney or fucking anywhere else, I bet you see a stock jump. I bet. Roto Commission the house. What's up, brother? Good to see you. All I know about KK is wood. Wood? Really?
Shit, I don't even know. Like, I can't even tell you that. Like,
just playing, I'd tear that shit up.
And his name is John C.
King's Advisor says, unless God comes down and shows me, I will not believe that mobile gamers make. Dude, honestly, it's ridiculous. You know where it comes from? It comes from China. Everything comes from China. All of the money, it all comes from China. Is X-Wing wearing a feed shirt? It says FET, you fucking weirdo. Dan Pleagle Boob Dan Art. I just can't stop saying that name. I used to make cell phone games for Disney, and yeah, the numbers on cell phone game purchases and downloads are insanely huge. They get you like casinos, dude. It's like you put $1 more in, just $1 more. You know what? If you want to unlock that character, it's like, 75 cents, but you get, 4 million people who are downloading the game, or 7 million, or whatever the case is. They all throw $5 in, or, somebody puts $1 here and $1 there. That shit adds up quick. And it's most accessible. That's the problem. It's accessible because you don't have to fucking buy a console and you can still play a Star Wars game. Shit pisses me to fuck off. I really wish that weren't the case. All right, let me move this off here. I wanted to take a minute and just give a shout out to Ray Stevenson, man. Moment of silence. Rest in peace for Ray Stevenson. This dude's been in fucking everything, to be honest with you. The dude has been in absolutely everything. Most memorable role, he was like, what was his, I don't know why this is the one that sticks with me, but what was his name? Dagos or Dagonost or Dagonet? Dagonet. He was always the big, burly British dude. Like, if you needed a big, burly, kind of sketchy British dude, that guy was the man. I forget, he was in Vampire's Assistant. Man, did you guys read those books? The Cirque du Freak? I remember reading those when I was a kid. I read Cirque du Freak. I still couldn't believe they made fucking John C. Reilly Krebsley. What a wild choice. What a really... this shit was just wild. Anyways, rest in peace, brother. I'm looking forward to seeing him in Ahsoka, if I'm being honest with you. Dude's just got the look for any character. The dude just has the look for any freaking character. He just fits. He fits in Hollywood. All right. We're going to pull a wild one. This is a total 180. But holy shit, does this make me happy. And this is why I was saying what's up to Padme. Like, got a big fan of your work. Natalie Portman said, no one's ever asked me to return to Star Wars, but I'm open to it.
It's a lot thicker than I thought it was going to be.
6 to midnight, full mast, ready to go. Are you kidding me? I haven't read this article. I saw the title and I'm like, dude. Yeah, here we go. This is a better statement. Natalie Portman, would. Yeah. Yep. So Natalie Portman told GQ magazine that she's open to returning to the Star Wars franchise 18 years after the Revenge of the Sith. Portman starred in all 3 of George Lucas's prequel films as Padme Amidala, who wins the heart of Skywalker. She said, I have no information on this, when a fan floated the idea of her coming back to the franchise. No one's ever asked me to return, but I'm open to it. Portman's Padme died in labor after giving birth to Luke and Leia in Revenge of the Sith, but the Star Wars franchise has a history of bringing back long presumed dead characters. If they bring Padme Amidala back from the dead, I'm gonna fucking flip out in not a good way. Not a good way. That's too much. That is way too much. What a special chat from SJ. Says, X-Wing, you're the first channel I purchased a membership for. Keep up the excellent content. My content is far from excellent, but holy shit, I feel honored, dude. That deserves a dance. Man, what a cool chat. Thank you, SJ. Shit, I really appreciate that. Yeah, she's dead. She is dead. The same Aeon says Natalie Portman fueled many a happy thought as a teenager during the prequels. Bruh. Man.
What the fuck are you doing?
Take it easy, man. Take it easy. He also says, if they bring her back from the dead, it'll be a RLM moment. No one's ever really gone. Yeah, I don't think... I think whoever wrote this article was probably not thinking when they wrote that sentence. The franchise has a history of bringing back long presumed dead characters. I think the better idea was the franchise really likes to do prequels. Or some other shit like that. I don't know. You bring Padme back from the dead and fuck it. All bets are off. They might as well just do like they could squish all the movies together, like 6 movies, and just put fucking everybody in the same room. Like young Anakin with old Luke, just all kinds of crazy shit. They could totally do that. Anyways, let's move on here. Variety exclusively reported in March that Waititi's Star Wars movie was still in development. No! I thought he moved on. He told Total Film last year that he's not interested in making a Star Wars movie with pre-existing characters and story threads, or telling origin stories. He's aiming to create some new characters and expand the world of Star Wars with his movie. See if I can do a South African accent. Do you guys have faith in me? Do you have faith in me? Look, I think for the Star Wars, how do you say Star Wars in South African? Star Wars universe to expand. It has to expand. YTD said, I don't think I'm any use in the Star Wars universe making a film where everyone's like, oh, great. Well, that's the blueprints to the Millennium Falcon, and that's Chewbacca's grandmother. That all stands alone. That's great. So I thought I'd like to take something new and create some new characters and just expand the world. Otherwise, it feels like it's a very small story. Yeah, shit. I don't know. Okay. South African? South African? African. South African. I don't know. I bought it was from New Zealand. Waititi is developing a Star Wars movie with co-writer Christy Wilson Cairns, who earned an Oscar nomination for penning Sam Mendes' one-take war thriller 1917. Watch Portman's full video interview with GQ in the post below. Shit, should we watch this? I haven't seen this shit. My mind's telling me no, but my body's telling me yes. I'll just try to talk over this. Man, I haven't heard Natalie open up about the prequels in like a hot minute. She took his Padme braid, or his Padme, his Padawan braid. Yes, you are. I was legitimately like one of the most beautiful women in the world. All right. Oh boy. Twitter. Dude, I loved the original Thor. Oh, that's pretty good. Why is this shit freaking out, man? You getting laggy? Bro, are they running this in like it's 720p? Are you kidding me? It's muted? Everybody hold up. Let me stop sharing it. Maybe that's why it's doing it. Hold on. Everybody hold up. I quit. It's muted. I quit. It's muted. Lol. Your 720p unmute. Unmute. I don't have his number, Kings. X-Wing lip reading. Still chompy. God, you guys are supportive. I really appreciate it. Ready to try again here?
He had that little like braid hanging
How about that?
down.
Is that
And
a
I
little
lost
bit better?
it, you know. So that's not very helpful. Hey there, GQ. I'm Natalie Portman, and today I'm going undercover on the internet.
Is that better? I think it's because it was playing through the web browser as opposed to me actually doing it. Yeah, there you go. Dude, you guys give me like fucking 5 seconds to figure this out. Look at the dog pile here. Look at the absolute dog pile. Hold on. Earth the X-Wing can't hear. Muted, bro. Mute. Ay Dios. Earth the X-Wing, bro. Yo, gas pedals on the right. Bump the volume. Ay Dios. Mio, muted. I quit. It's muted. Nikki, call him. Muted. It's 720p. Muted. Shock in the face. Like, give me 2 fucking seconds. She's gotten mumsy looking. Get the fuck out of here. She's gorgeous.
It's actually me.
It's not choppy anymore either.
Let's check Twitter.
Now we have to watch it all
I don't
over
think
again.
we appreciate Thor nearly enough for just how immensely weird it was. Sir Anthony Hopkins, Idris Elba, Natalie Portman fresh off an Oscar win,
Shut up,
Kat Dennings
Nikki.
as the comic relief, directed by
Racist.
Sir
X-Wing
Kenneth Branagh.
Discord
What a
message.
lineup
I'll
for a
check it in a minute.
superhero flick. Thanks. That's really nice. I also feel like so much of it is funny because they had such trouble with like schedules that a lot of people weren't there at the same time. So we'd also be like doing scenes.
I think I just realized I married a chick that looks a lot like Natalie Portman. Was there some internalized childhood stuff there?
With some guy that looked a lot like Anthony Hopkins, but wasn't Anthony Hopkins, but wearing his wig and costume and saying
Dude, I'm not even kidding. I'm like,
his lines. So there was a lot of unusual stuff
I think I just realized something about myself.
in the filming process of that too. I thought it was so cool to have Kenneth Branagh doing a Marvel movie because he had been so renowned for his Shakespeare adaptations, and it seemed so ripe to take this like Norse mythology and treat it with that kind of Shakespearean family saga feeling. So it always seemed like an inspired choice. Is Natalie Portman really can ballet?
Dude, some of this shit reminds me of like, have you ever seen the Take Off Your Bobs Indian social media?
That's the best sentence structure. I love that. I definitely learned a lot of ballet for Black Swan. I can't do it now at all. I'm quite out of shape.
Is Natalie Portman on Twitter?
I can a little ballet. Does anyone else ever think about how weird it is that Ashton Kutcher, who is married to Mila Kunis, did No Strings Attached with Natalie Portman the same year Mila Kunis did Friends with Benefits with Justin Timberlake? The movies had the same basic premise. How is it not weird? It's weird.
Wife swap.
It's totally weird. Correct. I wonder, are we going to see Natalie Portman as Jackie O again? Excellent question. I cannot reveal the answer
Nothing
to
is
that.
your wife for sure married to a guy that looks like Brad Pitt.
What's on your summer reading list? I'm reading The Postcard by Anne Burrest.
Talk about
I want
Star
to read
Wars.
the biography of X. Then I'll try and find.
I just want her to talk about Star Wars, man. I don't want them to take down my stream either. I'm sorry, I keep muting it.
Recently, I loved An Immense World by Ed
dude,
Yong. That
stuff
was
got,
my last great
stuff
when I
got
read.
wild in that movie.
I also love Gathering Moss by Robin Wall Kimmerer. I get kind of nerdy with my like books about nature. I love it.
I didn't watch the
Thanks
movie,
for
but I
doing
saw
this
the
work.
scene.
I've dreamt of a league like this since the 80s. You rock. Lifelong dream to live through this moment for women's soccer. That's so nice. I'm so happy to hear that. I feel.
Has anybody ever watched a women's soccer game? Like, to be honest with you, I have not. I watched a men's local soccer game once. It's pretty fun.
Women's equality while killing it on the field. I love in soccer that one player's goal is a win for the entire team. And I think that's
Natalie, don't do this to me, bro. Like, that's the majority of sports.
Model for women where we've so often been socialized to be pitted against each other. And so that kind of win for all mindset is incredible. And then also it's the most popular sport in the world. And in the US, we have the best female players in the world. So
factually incorrect.
Why wouldn't we capitalize on that with our home league? Okay, from Reddit.
Holy shit, she's going to Reddit? Is that a good idea? We'll try it.
Say what you want about the prequels, but the costume design was amazing. It was amazing. This one is pretty incredible. It's got such like kind of Japanese elements.
Yeah, so this today would be considered massive cultural appropriation and would not be accepted. Can't do that shit. She looks like a geisha. That's fucking disgusting.
From the second one, I took one of Anakin's braids. He had that little like braid hanging down. And I lost it, you know. So that's not very helpful.
She lost the braid.
Any chance that Padme Natalie Portman returns to Star Wars? Her character really deserves it with the way she was treated in Revenge of the Sith and overall importance for the OT story. I have no information on this. No one's ever asked me to return, but I'm open to it. Did Taika Waititi forget Natalie Portman was in Star Wars? He says he did because he like asked me if I wanted to be in a Star Wars movie. And I was like, I was. I thought he was joking. He's such a joker that I thought it was a joke. And then afterwards, he said in some interview that he like was cringing afterwards.
All right. So
I mean, most people I've talked to have been like,
that's proof right there. Like, bro, I'm sorry. All right. I'm going to go full screen for a minute here. Taika, go fuck yourself. Do me a favor. Go check out some of that beautiful New Zealand awesomeness. Walk naked up onto the top of a hill and literally fuck your own face. Like, fuck you.
What an idiot!
That's a little frustrating. I wonder if there's anything more we can squeeze out of this interview. I don't think so, but maybe. Just maybe.
What movie's ending leaves you wanting a sequel, but at the same time you're afraid of a sequel because it would ruin the movie's ending and legacy?
Literally every Star Wars since they sold it.
Sequel to Leon the Professional, where Natalie Portman is all grown up and carrying the
Ooh,
torch.
Matilda the Professional?
I completely agree. It would be really cool to have a sequel, but the first one is so beloved by so many
Dude, she was like 9 years old when that movie came out.
people that I wouldn't want to mess it up. YouTube.
Oh boy.
Natalie Portman was my favorite actress, and now she's also my favorite rapper. That's so nice. I really enjoyed doing the rap. It was a way to kind of show.
Have you guys seen that before? The say something about the motherfucking prequels, bitch. Reset the clock on F your own face references. Yeah, I apologize. I'm sorry. Just put her on screen and walk away. I'd probably have more subscribers if I did that. The way she was treated in Revenge of the Sith. Lol, give me a break. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat with you, man. A lot of people freak out about the whole, she tried to kill Anakin in the novelization and the knife and setting up the rebellion and stuff like that. I would have loved to have seen that. But let's be honest here. Revenge of the Sith is fucking peak. I don't know that there's a lot that I would change. It is mint. So, I mean, formulate your own opinions, but if Taika makes a Star Wars, Tessa is a Jedi now. That F your own face needs to be a recurring video clip. I try not to stream, but sometimes I can't help myself.
Different side
Stream. Curse. What the?
of me than people had thought, and poke fun at myself a little bit. They just kept being like, be angrier, just angrier, keep screaming, more anger. And the direction was very surprising. I didn't know to expect that. I would be so starstruck if I saw Natalie Portman. I wonder who she gets starstruck by. Well, that's so nice to be starstruck by me. I'm starstruck by these soccer players. So when
Back off. Didn't they get beat by like a team of 15-year-olds? Look, I love you, Natalie Portman, but let's be real here for a minute.
Stupid!
They're not good. Stop trying to fool yourself. The pay gap exists for a reason. Is Ryan Kinnell in the chat? Did I miss something? Everybody's saying haha and hello, Ryan Kinnell. I don't see him. Get that guy on here. I really want to hear what he thinks about Filoni taking over the studio with fucking Doug Chang, who's just an absolute G next to him. I'd love to say that I think that Doug Chang could point him in the right direction, but the bottom line is, it's Dave Filoni. You got a gifted membership. Oh. I don't have my other chat open. Hold up. Hold up, no. Wait, who gifted memberships? StreamYard needs to fix their shit so we can actually see what's going on here. Man, Scott Westbrook gifted 5 memberships. Scott Westbrook, my brother. Thank you, man. We're going to play the new gifted membership video.
He said clipped. I forget I'm on the fucking internet.
Just a little context, by the way, okay? I was gone for a very long time in Portland, Oregon. It was super late. We were making fun of Echo Base Network, and somebody caught me on camera with my shirt off.
He
Okay?
said clipped. I forget I'm on the fucking internet.
Enjoy. Don't make fun of me. You can't see him on StreamYard, man. I'm sorry. I had my Natalie Portman video up and ready to go, and I did not have the other one open. Apologies. Oh, what? Nope. Chat moved. Hold on. Yeah, that was a wild night. That was a really wild night. That was the first time I'd done like the streamception where you're watching somebody else stream while you're doing a stream. This is what small content creators do when they have way too much time on their hands. But anyway, really quick, we're going to do a check. We're at 1,400 subs away from 10,000 subscribers, where I'm going to do a big old fat giveaway. This upcoming week is when we're actually going to do the giveaway to catch up on the other shit that we have completely missed out on. I have a full bench full of vintage collection, Black Series, some limited series Black Series, limited series Black Series. Yeah, that's the way to say that. My brain's all just combobulated from looking at Natalie Portman for so long. I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. Other than that, I don't really know that we have much else to say. I mean, we can start doing pop-ins if you guys are ready for some pop-ins. Limited Black Series, limited series Black Series, limited series Black Series. We'll start doing some pop-ins if you guys want to hop in. I will drop the link in the chat. Let me get the link ready. I want to hear what you guys have to say when it comes to the idea of a new studio head taking over, projects that you guys would want to see. I'm interested to hear all of it. One of these days, this is going to get me in trouble, and I'm going to have to stop doing it. But up to this point, we're doing okay. So we shall see. Yeah, and don't forget, I just saw Pop said Star Wars Day is Thursday. May 25th is right around the corner. I really hope that all of you guys, we got 66 in here now. I hope that, 66. I hope that some of you, I can't help myself. I hope some of you pop over to After the Sequels. Come check it out. If nothing else, it's an awesome fan project that you guys can be involved in. Obviously, I put a lot of hard work into it. A lot of people have put a lot of hard work into it. So it's just cool to see. It's cool to see Star Wars fans making a project. Obviously, I was a big fan of the character that I played. And before you think of it, no, it's not Palpatine. No, it's not Vader. We've got somebody else in the works. You're going to love it. All right, first up to bat is King's Advisors. What's up, brother?
Not much. How are you doing?
I'm just so thankful that somebody else can help me walk through this. I feel like I've been walking on a cane for the past 45 minutes. What's up?
What does that mean?
I'm just stumbling through this live stream. I have no idea what I'm doing. What's up?
Not much. You know, we just finished ours, and I came over and caught the Natalie interview. So I didn't hear anything about Kathleen severance package, anything like that.
You're gonna make me explain it to you in front of all of these people.
Well, what I will say.
So really quick rundown, just so you know, there are rumors that in August there will be contractual discussions about Kathleen leaving Lucasfilm. The only reason I'm talking about this is because this seems to be the most substantial evidence we've gotten in the past 4 years of seeing YouTube titles and everything about Kathleen's leaving. This is it. She's out, whatever. This seems to be the only one that starts to make sense. And the reason I say that is because Indy 5 is going to drop very, very soon, middle of June, I think, if I remember correctly. And I had stated early on, I thought it was going to be 3 to 4 weeks after Indy, and it's looking like it's actually going to be 5 to 6 to 7 to 8 weeks after Indy. So this could be a thing. And I have to ask you, all the people who are in my community, what do you think about the potential of Doug Chiang and Dave Filoni taking over as studio heads?
Well, as you've always said, Dave Filoni is a goldfish.
Yes.
Who grows into the fishbowl of whoever is in charge of him.
Right.
So under
what
Lucas,
if he's in charge? That's the question.
Yeah. So under Lucas, he did a relatively good job on Clone Wars and Rebels. Under KK, he has done a pretty poor job on whatever he's been in charge of. I mean,
well, people would argue that Clone Wars Season 7 was some of the best Clone Wars out there.
I don't know. All I really remember beyond the Bad Batch and the Maul stuff was the two sisters thing, which was just a really stupid storyline.
Martez sisters.
Yeah, Martez sisters.
Yeah.
But I think if he's truly a goldfish, then if the other Chang is the guy's name, right?
Doug Chiang, yeah. So
Yeah.
so if you want to go back, so he was at ILM before the Phantom Menace, but just as a very early example, all the shit you saw with the pod racers, the hangar, like all of that stuff, that's a good reference point for where Doug Chiang was. You got to remember that was fucking pre 1999. It's now 2023. So the guy has been with the company forever, and he is incredibly talented.
And a George Lucas guy to boot.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great direction to go. I think if you've got, now depending on who's in charge, if Doug Chiang's in charge and Dave is, I don't know, co or just below or whatever, and grows into being back to a more George Lucas kind of creator, I think that's great.
Yeah.
But I think the bigger question would be, is the damage done?
Oh, that's not a question.
Well, you're right, because I was talking about that.
We're starting to wonder if it's actually going to survive at this point, which I think it will, because it's fucking Disney. They can pull money out of their bumhole.
So I disagree with that, because let's look at Hogwarts Legacy. $1 billion on May 1st. In 2 months, they made $1 billion in Hogwarts Legacy. Tears of the Kingdom is the I'm just gonna kind of make up a number that I think is pretty safe. Fastest selling game in probably a decade. 15 million copies in 3 days.
Totally agree, 100%.
Absolutely.
Here's the thing you have to remember: the shittiest game that has anything to fucking do with Star Wars at all, if it's making $3 billion a year on little to no production cost, and that's recurring, compared to a game that takes you years and years and years and years and years to make, and then once it's released creates no revenue, that's the shit you have to think about. So there's
we have numbers on Survivor?
No, but I can tell you it's not going to make $3 billion a year over the next 2 years.
Yeah.
Recurring. It's just not going to.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree.
Those are the things you have to think about. I mean, it sucks. Trust me, I don't like the fact that it's doing that, but they are making money in ways that we don't like as fans. But it's making money, and guess what? Disney doesn't give a fuck if we like it or not. If it's making money. So, yeah, that's where we're at. If you had to pick one project that you would want to see put out, if Doug Chiang and Dave Filoni were the heads of the studio, what would it be?
Can they restart something that they're currently making?
No.
Okay. Probably
Free
Revan.
reign. Whatever the fuck you want. Revan?
Probably Revan.
And you want Filoni to handle it?
If they could restart it, I would want them to redo Acolyte because I think as it stands,
Ooh, yeah,
Acolyte's
better
going to be
idea.
bad.
Yeah,
But-
better idea.
And I think the idea has so much promise. I just think the people in charge are terrible choices.
100% agreed, man.
Someone that should be in prison alongside our boss.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Moving on. All right. Thanks, Caleb. We got
Yeah,
Maria
welcome.
Espino coming in next.
That's
Fucking
me.
almost- Oh, Jesus Christmas.
You too can YouTube like a YouTuber.
Oh, yeah. I'm getting good. I'm getting, well, not good. I'm getting better.
Great.
It's
You're
like my golf
fantastic,
game. You know, I can at least hit it onto the fairway now.
Well,
What's up?
you know. So I wanted to talk to you because I wanted you to show this. There's a link I put in Discord because I wanted you to show that. It is the leadership of Lucasfilm as it stands today.
Oh, you have the org chart. We were looking at that the other day.
We have the org chart. And
Gotta look at the org chart.
gotta look at the org chart because it's very telling. Okay. It's very, very telling.
Lucasfilm leadership team. Yeah, and if I remember, oh no, I was looking at the Disney org chart, not the Lucasfilm org chart. The Disney leadership org chart does not have Kathleen Kennedy on it.
Yeah, no, because she's not a leader in Disney. But yeah, very telling who is really poised to take over. And I think it's Lin-Win Brennan. I mean, I would have liked it to have been. Here's the reason why I don't think I don't want Doug Chiang or Dave Filoni to take that role. First of all, they're both still executive creative directors. They're already that. And they need to stay in those roles or the quality of our stuff is really going to plummet. Like studio head is a business role. It's a business position.
That's why an executive should take it, but that's not what I said, though. That's the big thing that I was trying to, apparently nobody heard me. I was trying to get this forward, that there will be an executive that is a studio head. Underneath those studio heads will be the creative directors, Dave Filoni and Doug Chiang.
They already are. They report directly to Kathleen Kennedy, and there's two women.
So the only fucking problem here is that the bleed over is from the executive into the creative.
That's where I'm like, because a lot of people are like, oh, why doesn't Filoni take over the studio head role? And I'm like, dude, you don't want that or Doug Chiang. Like, no, Doug Chiang's my hero. I freaking love that guy.
He's not a studio head. He's an artist.
Yes, but he is executive creative director. He is vice president and executive. He's already that. Right?
Stay there. Perfect.
Yes.
Stay there.
And so is Dave Filoni. Dave Filoni is also that executive producer and executive creative director. So they're already
so all you have to do is you put whoever this is, if it's Jimmy or whatever the case may be, put him in the executive role. So you put Jimmy in the executive role.
Yeah.
And then underneath you have two heads of the studio for the creative department. So you have creative director and creative director. And then underneath them you have everything else.
Yeah, it's already there. That's how it's already set up, right? I mean, that's not, you wouldn't be changing anything. The only thing that you would be changing is if you take Kathleen Kennedy out, I am about 85 to 90% sure that Lin-Win will take that role. She pretty much runs everything in there. And if it's not her,
that's
I don't
not
know.
good. It's a fucking clone.
You watch? Are you looking what I'm saying? Yeah, right. Okay.
It's a clone. It's the same fucking thing.
Yeah. And I want to point out there's nobody named Pataro here. Who is named?
He's at ESPN. James Pataro.
Okay.
He's at ESPN. Yeah, that's why I held my reservations because I was like, it was just in February that James Pataro. Yeah, it was just in February of this year that James Pataro went to fucking ESPN. But there are bumblings and rumors that they want to move James over to Lucasfilm and then have creatives handle everything from the bottom.
I think that would be way worse.
I think that's fucking great. If you have somebody who has no idea what Star Wars is and they're going to handle the business side of it, and then you have somebody who's actually knowledgeable in Star Wars handle the creative side of it, perfect.
Yeah, but that's already that. I mean, Dave and
yeah, you're right. That is already what's going on. But Kathleen Kennedy's still trying to fucking do stuff. That's what's pissing me off.
I'm just saying like they handle all that stuff at the top already.
Yeah.
So the people are begging to be at the top
Maria?
are already at the top.
Maria,
I know. I'm sorry.
do me a favor. because we'll go on for an hour.
I know.
Can I recycle you to the back end of the pop in
No,
so
I'm
that
good.
so that we have time, because I do want to talk about this stuff because I think it's important.
Okay.
So then I
just let
can
me
get
know when to hop
everybody
back
in, and then yeah, I'll send you a message. All right.
All right. Bye.
Let me pull down. Hold on, Blood. Let me pull this down. Blood Guilty, what's up, brother?
What's
Man, you got the
going on?
dark. You got the dark saber lamp. I've been looking at that shit on Amazon. I'm not gonna lie. They had one for like 50 or 60 bucks on Amazon. I was like, but after Mandalorian season 3, I couldn't do it anymore.
I bought this one. I got this one before. It was at a Walmart. It was just randomly laying there, and I was like,
dope,
"Oh, cool."
dude. I like your. I've never seen that background before.
Yeah, when I'm doing my stream today, I had it up. I've had it up for a couple weeks now.
That's cool, man.
This is my old background. I switched back to it. So, but yeah.
All right. So
Yeah,
what do
thank
you
you.
got? What are you thinking, man?
Well, first off, the issue with Kennedy is, look, she's fired more people than she's hired at this point. I mean, let's just be real, and not being able to get along with people when her position is a huge problem, because you go out with a plan, right? And these people, they have a plan, and then when you fire them before the project's done, I mean, that's a huge problem. And so lots of people won't work with you. You know what I mean? And so now the talent list that you originally had has shrunk.
It's shrunk down to
You
have to think about originally, who the fuck wouldn't want to work on a Star Wars project? Who
Exactly.
wouldn't want? There was a waiting list,
right?
Not
and now,
who can we call?
Yep. And now look at it. We have a list of very few people that will actually even take a job. You know what I mean? And so that's a huge problem in itself. And that's
You
something
got Ryan
that is
Johnson,
her
Taika
fault.
Waititi, and James Mangold, who after Indy 5, James Mangold might not be in a position to be doing Star Wars. We'll see.
And then also you want to look at all the shows that have been canceled, everything that's been canceled that was told, we said we'd get this, and this, and what have we gotten? We've gotten a lot less shows. More have been canceled than produced. That's also a problem, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So
we're in a calorie deficit when it comes to eating as a Star Wars fan. That's for sure.
yeah. And it's a huge problem. I mean, so what are they going to do? That first off, just firing her at this point in the game won't necessarily solve your problems. Okay.
No. It's a culture problem at Lucasfilm.
Right. Exactly. So, getting new blood in there is one thing, but, I'm just not sure. It seems like you're going to have to completely gut it to get anything, that you can use afterwards. I mean, that's my opinion.
The shitty problem, and this is really the question we kind of got to ask ourselves. When everybody's calling for torches and pitchforks, and they want to gut Lucasfilm top to bottom, I can promise you there are people like you and I in Lucasfilm right now. I could promise you, because it takes a special breed of person to sit and work for 16 hours on something. I mean, pulling everybody out of there won't work. The question is, as a studio head or as a creative director or executive producer, what do you do to go through and look at your studio and find out indigestion, excuse me. How do you find out who's actually on board with you and who's against you?
That's a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, look what happened. I hate to go to politics, but look what happened with Trump. You know what I mean? And that's a perfect example of, I guess you would put out what I would do. Honestly, I'd make a questionnaire and I'd email it to everyone, and secretly, sort of, this is how I would decide to keep people going forward. Like if I was Iger or whoever is going to be in charge of doing that. You know what I mean? Like, and I would use these questions.
In corporate America, you can't do that. Unless you're in
everyone would be hip
state.
to it.
I don't think California is I don't know if California is a right to work state or not, but the problem is at this point, it's like a squatter gets in a house and you can't just yank them out.
Right. You're going to have people that are dedicated to Star Wars and dedicated to storytelling. And that's you know, like I said, right now it's few and far in between for them. They don't have too many people that are willing to work with them, right? Because of what's been going on. And like I said, even once you get rid of Kennedy, you still have the cultural problem at Lucasfilm. So
Yeah. Well, I just think, you know, at this point, I look at Lucasfilm like a pirate ship. Okay.
mhm,
You got cannoneers, you got rowers, you got guys who work on the sails, yada, yada, yada. Somebody's steering the ship. So the
yeah,
problem right now is Kathleen Kennedy is steering the ship, which from a creative standpoint, she should not be doing. She's
mhm,
the executive head of the studio. You should be focused on nothing. I gotta pull this comment down so I can keep pulling up other people's comments. You should be focused on nothing but steering the ship in a way that makes sense for it to make money. To mine eyes, it does not appear that that is her direct goal. Her direct goal, much
right,
like Iger and Disney, is more about legacy.
mhm,
More about what impact can I make and how can I shield myself against the potential detractors should I be fired so that my legacy endures. That's the vibe that I get from Kathleen Kennedy. When instead, if you were to focus on how to make the company money, how to make Star Wars fans happy, how to
mhm,
ensure that this IP survives, your
right,
legacy would
yes,
endure. It would endure longer than anybody else's because that's what you
absolutely.
focused on.
Mhm.
Maybe I'm fucking nuts. I don't know.
Well, you know, us fans right now, we for Star Wars, we're just holding out hope that somewhere down the line, you know, at least that's how I feel. I'm hoping somewhere down the line, maybe like in 10 years or something like that, Star Wars will eventually be back. You know what I mean? That's my
Yeah,
hope. But I don't see
the ship
anything in
has
the
to
near
right.
future.
Yeah.
I don't see anything though in the near future, including firing Kennedy. Once you fire her, like I said, you said culture problem. You still have these people, the reputation, you know, that Lucasfilm has had, and it's just how that's going to take years
Years and years and years.
yeah,
And
exactly.
the question, the problem now, the question, and we'll end on this, but you know, the question
Yeah,
now is becoming, is it too late? There are people that are speculating that it may be too late. And
yeah,
in my mind, there's no way that you just turn off Star Wars. How do you just shut down Star Wars? And I don't think that's ever going to happen, but they're looking at the studio and they're starting to ask a lot of questions. I
right.
mean, they just built $1 billion hotel that's shutting down. That gives a
Failed.
lot of fucking pause to investors as to where am I putting my money and who's handling it, because you just
Correct.
shut down that fucking hotel after how
And,
much money I put into it.
and someone's got to take that fall, right? Someone's got to take that fall for that, and that was her thing,
So they're
right?
going to use it as a loss, and then they're going to use that to protect the money that they made in the parks. But I mean, it is a loss. Like, bear no
Yeah,
bones
a
about it.
big,
It
big,
is
big
a
loss.
big loss. It's a
Massive.
big loss. So, you know, the thing that I take a little bit of hope in, the thing that I'm a little excited about, is that people are starting to ask questions. The people with money are starting to
Right.
ask questions. And that's what I wanted
That's
to
true.
happen when the sequel trilogy was going on. But they weren't asking questions. And now they are. So that makes me happy.
Yes. True. I guess we
Sweet.
can end on that positive note.
So you're streaming. Where can we find you?
Blood Guilty Gaming on YouTube. I do all my live stream gaming on that channel. I also had a Rebel Scum Network, but I haven't really uploaded anything to that. It was going to be my content channel, but it's been months since I was able to do anything there. So,
well, go follow the homie over there. Thank you for being here, my friend. Good to see
thanks,
you,
brother. Yep.
Have a wonderful night.
Appreciate you. Yep.
All right. Next up, we got Stawo's dog.
What's up, buddy?
What's up, man?
Oh, well, I want to circle back to to Natalie Portman there.
Of course you do.
That's that kind of stuff is exactly why I stopped following her on Instagram. She's so woke nowadays. It's painful.
Okay, so here's the thing. I totally get that, but like I have to tell you, I've always been the guy, separate the art from the artist. Always, 100%.
Yeah.
And if you follow Mark Hamill, and if you feel that way about Natalie Portman, you probably feel the same way about Mark Hamill.
Right.
Very similar. To me, it doesn't matter. Escapism is always going to be the thing. So love the character and give respect to the actor. Politics aside, fuck all that shit. Like, dude, fuck politics.
I agree. That's just why I stopped following her personally. I know you were starting to watch it. And I'm like, when's it gonna happen? When's it gonna happen? Because I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
But as far as board change and everything that you've been discussing, I don't see, after all this damage that's been caused, how do you right the ship? How do you pull back in the fans that you chased away that have all become Knights of Melvin now? How can you possibly fix that? Because to me, I have zero hope for any projects coming. And even if KK is gone, I don't know how much weight I put behind KK being the problem of everything. Because I think it's a whole group of people, and I'm not informed, and I don't know, details, and I don't have any insiders, but if I had to guess, I'm guessing her thought process is not the solo thought process in that room. I think she has a lot of backers and a lot of people that genuinely agree with her and
well, I mean, you have to think about it, right? So you're in the military, you got to think about it. If you're in, you're in command of this group of people, you want them, your job is to make them operate the way that you see to be the most effective. So if that's the way that she sees it to be fit, then of course you're going to hire the people, you're going to bring the people in that continue in the way that you think, because that's the way the shit works. A boss or whatever you want to call it, you create a culture around your leadership that fits so that everybody can do the job the way that you have basically set forth for them. It's the most efficient way.
Yeah.
So of course, Kathleen's been in for what is it, fucking a decade now? It's almost been fucking 10 years? Maybe I don't even remember what year it's old, but of course that culture is going to be there. And so bringing in a new studio head,
I mean, even if they were to start embracing the OT and the PT and not putting it in the corner as if it doesn't exist, and I'm talking in the films and TV that they produce, and that's if we even get another film. And then not only that, but the parks as well. Like, even if they pivot and take that stuff back out of the closet, our fans like myself and like you, are we going to see it as authentic or just them trying to earn money again? And that's not where their loyalties lie. Like, we'll see through the
I understand that there's always going to be a thin veneer of, they're just trying to make money. But the bottom line is they have to. That's the point. They have to make money. The difference in the storytelling is what's going to be the important part. So it's not so much like, it really is a thin line, because I'm going to say two things that sound completely the same but are completely different. Who are we trying to appeal to? Are we going to try to appeal to everybody? Or are we going to try to appeal to the people that are going to make us money? This is the hard part with ESG and everything that's going on in Hollywood. And a lot of people are complaining about massive studios picking up IPs and feeling like they're bastardized. And it's a lot of the times, believe it or not, it's not so much of an issue with the studio as it is the guidelines set forth by Hollywood about what kind of shit they can make and what they need to do. So environmental social governance is an absolutely real thing. When I tell you there is a checklist, and I remember early on when a lot of YouTubers were talking about, they checked a box. A lot of people are like, screw you. You're just, it's a conspiracy theory. It's a very real thing. So to say another studio head is going to come in and fix everything immediately, you think Lucasfilm needs a top down? Hollywood needs a top down. It's not just Lucasfilm. So the problem is twofold.
Yeah, I agree. I don't see where you right the ship. I honestly don't. And I'm a firm believer that a good story will bear fruit for profit.
Yeah.
Not just trying to have your focus groups and check all the boxes for the story and then check all the boxes for all the other stuff.
Yeah. That is unfortunately the reality of Hollywood. 100%. I mean, we even saw, I can't remember his name right now, but it was the guy from Marvels. He's been in a bunch of stuff, but it was the Indian guy from Marvels, and they basically told him we can't cast you as a villain because we're only going to cast white people as villains. And this is not a conspiracy theory. He came out and talked about this. He's like, this is fucking ridiculous. So this is just the way things are right now. So the biggest hope we have is that there's going to be a swing again, because I don't know if you remember, but I think it was the 60s and 70s. There was very much the same thing that was going on from the conservative side. You know, if you were a liberal, you were booted out of Hollywood and they would call you a commie. So this pendulum swifts. This pendulum swings. That's the word I was looking for. It swings back and forth, and I'm waiting for it to swing back. I think prime Star Wars is going to happen right when it hits the middle. And I think there will be a renaissance for Star Wars. I pray that there will be a renaissance for Star Wars.
How much damage will be done before that? And
it's done at this point.
Can you recover from it? Because they're going to do even more damage.
You can always swing back. You can always swing back. The difficulty that they face right now is the timing between when it swings, who they fire, and who they keep on. And that is the juggling act of the corporate world, and something that they're going to have to figure out. But, in terms of, is it going to go back? Yeah, it's going to swing back at some point. But I think we're headed for darker times before we head to the light, for sure.
Yeah, I agree. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Have fun making content about it.
Oh, don't worry, man. I'm going to be all over Acolyte. Well, I'll be here for the whole thing. I can promise you that. And when it comes back, if it comes back, hopefully it comes back, I'm looking forward to basking in the light when we can all sit here together on a Star Wars stream and just gush like fucking nerds again. You know, I'm really looking forward to it.
See, at least I have my back-to-back national champions, and probably going to three-peat, so I at least have some joy. Well, while Star Wars continues to break my heart and go down a path I can't follow.
You got to take the good with the bad, man. It's good to see you, dog.
All right, buddy.
I'll see you later, man.
Yep.
All right, last but not least, we got Cocho Dragon. What's up, Cocho?
What's up, X-Wing?
How's it going?
I'm doing well. And yourself?
Good, man. I'm interested to hear what you have to say. What do you got? And why do you have a small anime dragon cursing while playing games?
Well, it's basically off a sticker that I guess I learned that it was from. So.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
all right. So, what do you think about this whole Lucasfilm yada babooba?
All right. So, I'll cut to the chase. So, hearing from you guys earlier today on Pro's video. So I really think right now Disney itself, they're having a lot of problems. And then just the announcement last week of closing the Star Cruiser, which we knew it was going to fail. And right now, the biggest problem they're dealing with, not just by fighting with Florida, but they got another thing to worry about, and that's Universal. Because if that rumor about, a Zelda land coming, then that's pretty much going to be, a big concern for Disney right now, because Galaxy Edge, it's not doing anything. And the Star Cruiser closing, that's a big waste of money. So
you bring up a really good point, and something that we haven't even talked about tonight is that not only are they in a hard place because they are bleeding money, and no bones about it, they are bleeding money, and they're down to working capital that would make the highest executive shiver. Now they're in between the anvil of Universal essentially telling them, we know how to do this right. And they are dragging customers over by the thousands to Universal, which is very, very scary for Disney.
Yeah, just look at Super Nintendo World right now. Even if it's small in Hollywood, California, but it's still bringing in guests. And you have the one in Japan. But I was going to say that, if what Pro and, what you guys talked about earlier, even if it's true that, they're going to have discussions with KK or about her contract, even if, let's say, they still give her another year or whatever, it's still going to be a lose-lose situation whether they get rid of her or not. Because if it's true what Pro said that she's gone by next year, guess what's going to happen is that possibly Universal is going to announce a commercial saying like, hey, we got this epic universe coming up by 2025, which I believe that is the opening day that the opening year that they're gonna present the epic universe. So, I mean, right now, Disney's in a lose-lose situation no matter what, and
they're in a
even
really
if they
bad
make,
spot.
yeah, even if they make some decision to say like, oh, we're getting rid of KK, like making her the fall person. I mean, even if they like not fire her, but just say like, yeah, we're not gonna, bring her back. We're just gonna have somebody in. But it's like what what's his name? Star Wars dog said. Like, how much is already done? Damage is done. I mean, even if you were to announce stating like, yeah, KK is gone. She was the big problem, or but you still have Iger. That's still the biggest problem because he's the one that let all this happen because he's all in with all this, identity stuff.
Yeah, lest we forget that this all originated with Iger and a ridiculous timeline to put out Star Wars movies. Just the entire mismanagement of this IP. It can still boil down to Iger, and like a fucking nightmare. No one's ever really gone. He's back in office right now, and that's what we're dealing with. So,
and I was gonna say too, because that's the one thing we can never forget, because it started with Iger, so it's gonna pretty much end with Iger with the problem. But I'll say this real quick too. Another thing is that look at what's going on with the toy sales, especially.
Girl, talk to me about those toy sales, man. This shit is bad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And you want to know something that's selling? Well, actually, I'm gonna reveal my face to you for the first time. So.
Okay.
All right. So this is me. So I'll tell you what's selling right now. Since this came out. So I don't know if you pretty much had this.
No, I've been playing it like crazy.
Yeah. But I'm trying to finish up Fortnite with the Battle Pass, but I'm gonna get back into it. But I have played it, but it's really nice. It's actually my first one. But
it's your first Legend of Zelda game?
Yeah.
Fucking shame on you. You go back and you play the rest of dude, you need to go play the rest of those shits first. But you know what's really cool about Legend of Zelda is that the old games are, I mean, they're fucking incredible. They're amazing. But that legacy carried on into the game that you were just holding in your hand right now. Something that I wish I could have said for the Star Wars movies.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say, because over my local retail stores, like the games itself, like they are like most of the games are not even stocked up. Like they're selling like hotcakes, and toys. I mean, that's
oh, dude, Nintendo can't keep fucking consoles on the shelf.
Oh yeah. It took me till like 2021 to get me one. By the time when all the stuff went down, whatever. But I'll just say this, like I'll make one last thing, and then I'll go ahead and get going, because I know you got to finish up with somebody else. But I will say that, like I said, even if whether or not if it's true or not, because I know, like, I'll say this on behalf of Pro. I mean, not on behalf of Pro, but like what Pro said today, he doesn't have like, it's just a guessing game, like whether or not if it's true or not. Like,
it's always gonna be until Lucasfilm says shit.
Yeah, it's gonna be something like that. But like I said, even if Disney does make the decision whether they keep her or they let her go, it's still gonna be a lose-lose situation, because they will still end up worrying about Universal no matter what, because they still got a lot of problems, and like Star Wars Dog said, it's still gonna be a culture problem no matter what within Disney. That toxic environment is always in.
Yep, until it gets fixed.
Yeah. All right,
Coach. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for popping in.
Sure, no problem.
We'll see you around. What a beautiful lot of pop-ins. I love hearing from you guys. I love talking to the community. This is why I started this channel. It's great. It honestly is. It's great to hear from other perspectives in the community. It's great to hear what regular old Star Wars fans are thinking about, how they're feeling. And you can tell just by the people that popped in, these are different age groups, different ethnicities, all kinds of different people. I fucking love it. All right, we're gonna bring Maria back in so we can hash out this whole fucking who deserves what position where thing. I don't even remember where we left off.
The sports guy is where we.
Oh, James.
Yeah. You really think a sports guy's gonna go well there?
Well, I mean, look, you know,
Chat, help me
companies love to hire from the inside, right?
Okay, but ESPN is not Lucasfilm.
Agreed, 100%. I watch ESPN, but
I love it.
you know, I think this is more of a. I think this is more of a Lucasfilm wants to see somebody in an executive position handling the business side of the company with a business mindset and less of an idea about, I've been in the film industry for so fucking long. I want to show people that I can carry on the legacy of these people that I worked with. You don't get that with pretty much anybody else other than Kathleen Kennedy. I mean, obviously there can be other examples, but when it comes to George and Steven, that's the fucking person, right?
Yeah.
So I can't blame them for what they did when it came to putting her in the spot. I'm just saying, I think it took them way too fucking long to realize the mistake that they made.
Yeah. I would agree with you. I don't think that we should be looking for outsiders that have like no real experience with this franchise to come in to do that. I feel like you need to have some experience with the franchise. And I'll be honest with you. I mean, Lin-Wen to me is I would have personally, if I had my choice, you know who I would put in there. It'd be Larry Kasdan.
I was gonna say Kasdan.
Yep. It'd be Larry Kasdan because I mean, come on, Empire Strikes Back. You know, I have a lot of respect for that person.
So I put that out after we. So I put that in the idea once when I was in the actual video, and people were like, "Fuck no." And then I said it after the stream, and they're like, "No, fuck that dude. He's horrible. Would never work. Yada yada." But I never really got an explanation as to why.
Like why he would be horrible.
Yeah, I
don't know why anyone would say that.
And they didn't explain it. I wish they would have elaborated a little more, because I'm like, dude, this is the guy who wrote fucking Empire Strikes Back. It's like one of the most beloved, you know. And this is somebody who's an old breed, which I think is important, you know.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, not only that, but like very, very close.
Oh, here we go.
Very.
Kasdan came out with that bullshit Lando was pansexual and tried to make it a thing.
I don't think that was him. I mean, you guys got to remember Solo was a fucking nightmare. You know, like the script that Larry Kasdan wrote was not the script that was put on film. I'm just going to say that. And that is the reason why
The Force Awakens was just a fucking New Hope. So I have a tough time like.
Yeah, The Force Awakens.
It was just a New Hope. It was the same fucking movie.
It's the same thing, but I mean, you know,
the Lando pansexual shit. I don't like that.
Don't think. Yeah. KK was
not that I don't blame him. I'm saying if he did that, I don't fucking like it.
Yeah, I just think
I'll have to
Larry
do
just
some
has
research
the
on
I for me personally, I'll tell you why I think Larry would work is number one, he is like best friends with George Lucas. Those two talk daily. On the daily, they're still really, really close.
Yeah, well, so does fucking Dave Filoni.
Not so much.
You literally said that to me the other day. You're like, dude, fucking Filoni and Jared, they check back and forth. They fucking talk to each other all the time, bro.
But they're not like best friends. Like Larry's best friends with him. Larry's like godfather to one of his kids. So a little bit different. But I'm just saying. I think what I think would be great. It's just because Larry knows the business side of film studios,
right?
Absolutely, and has
he's been around,
right? He's like Rick McCullum. He's like, you know, why not Rick McCullum? If now we bring him up, right?
What is Fleabag? Fleabag droid? Fleabag, the feminist robot?
Oh, is that like?
I can't even remember the name of that fucking droid. I hated that.
Whatever.
Phoebe Waller-Bridger. That's right. Phoebe Waller.
Like that, whatever. Yeah.
That's the same chick that's in Indiana. Was L4 or whatever her name is?
L3.
L3. That's hilarious. Yeah. So basically insufferable at every turn.
Yeah, but that was the first set, the duo directors that was involved with the with the project of Solo.
L3
so there
was
was a
Phoebe, and now
big-
she's in fucking Mando, or not Mando, Indy. That's funny.
You can't. I do agree. KK was George's friend supposedly. I don't know that they're, as I don't think anybody's as close to George as Larry is. I will say that. Like those two are like,
Huh.
very close. But that's not the reason. I mean, for me personally, the reason is I did see the new Star Wars dog. I did, and I actually really liked it. So Indy 5. So you're muted. What the heck? StreamYards.
Sorry, there we go. Where did it go?
I just feel like Larry would be good because he really.
Wait,
does
hold on.
know
You
the
said
people.
you saw the new Indy 5.
I did.
Did you? Yeah, and you said you liked it.
I did.
If it is trash, I am never believing anything you ever say ever again.
But art is subjective. Like some people are not going to like it. Some people are going to like it. Like the reviews are half and half. It's not all negative. The reviews are half and half from critics. I mean, you want to believe critics. I never believe critics. I just like.
What percentage do you need to literally pass the 6th grade? If you're getting graded for your work, what percentage do you need to pass a grade? I mean, 6th, 7th, 8th, freshman, senior.
You're talking like what? To like pass? What is like?
Yeah,
D+,
what is a
right?
passing grade? Yeah, it's like 65 to 70%, right? That's considered passing, but that is the ass end of the spectrum.
Right.
50% is a fucking failure.
I totally get that. I'm just saying I don't believe critics. I go to watch things on my own, just like you. And you and I agree on this. We watch things and we take them at face value. If we like it, we say it. If we don't, we say that too. But I never go by what everybody else, or especially critics. Fuck those people, right?
Yeah, I never listen to critics.
I never
Usually,
fucking
if they shit all over a movie, I'm like, oh fuck, I gotta go see that.
I gotta go see. I gotta make my own judgment, right? But
Yeah.
but back to the Lucasfilm thing, it's like I feel like if it's not going to be Larry, it should be Linwin. I mean, she's been there since '99.
I am so. It's Kathy's protege.
I don't think she's that much of a protege as Filoni.
Who does she
I'm
report
going to
to?
get raked over the coals for that.
Who's she to report to?
She reports to Kathy, but so does Dave.
Who's her immediate senior?
Kathy.
And who's she been working with since her tenure at Lucasfilm?
Both George Lucas and Kathy. She's been there since '99, bro. She's been there a long time.
None of this makes sense.
Dave Filoni also reports to Kathy.
I'm
Doug
just saying,
Tan
bro.
also reports to Kathy.
Well, of course they fucking report to Kathy. I'm talking about who does she have the closest fucking working relationship with? She is literally her understudy. I'm talking knee-high to a Kennedy, and you're gonna put her right in the spot.
I'm not
Terrible
saying-
fucking idea.
I'm not saying that that's what I would do. Like I said, I prefer Larry Kasdan, but it just
don't
makes
like
more
any of
it makes more logical sense for Linwin Brennan to take that role because she's basically doing it.
If critics say 85%, you're sure it's crap. If critics say 50, it means 12%.
What the fuck?
If critics say 5, it means 100. That's kind of where I'm at. Yeah, I look at like some of my favorite movies in the world, and they're like, critics are like, this shit fucking sucked. And I'm like, that
And then
is
you go see
such a
them.
good
Have
movie.
you ever had that where like it's like bombed, right? Like it's bombed by the critics, it's bombed by other
Oh, yeah.
people, and you go to the fucking theater and you watch it, and you're like, that was really good.
Yeah.
What the fuck are people talking about?
Like I said, 90% of the critic bomb movies I tend to enjoy.
Yeah.
Some of them
Yeah,
not so much.
For sure.
But-
No, for sure. I just go watch it yourself and make your own, make your own.
Knee high to a Kennedy.
That's true.
I'm gonna
Hey, you know
put that
what?
shit on a t-shirt.
We really do need to put that shit on a t-shirt. But, like I said, the only way to fix Star Wars right now is moving the shit forward. So that's what we're trying to do.
I'm trying to get it the fuck out. All right. Maria, thank you for popping on. I think I'm going to call it. I need to go eat food.
Yeah, me too.
I actually haven't eaten today, and I've had 3 glasses of wine, so I'm feeling a little froggy.
Oh, are you going to be playing on the gaming? Can we plug the gaming channel? Come on, guys.
Nah, I don't give a shit. So keep your eyes out for Thursday the 25th. I'm going to be over there talking about this this fan project, this movie. I'm very excited about. I get to play a bad guy, so that's going to be cool.
Talk all about it now.
Yes, and the music will come out. We've got original music for the film, just all kinds of cool shit to talk about. I think it's going to be a great stream.
X-Wing has his own song.
I do. I have my own song and my own lightsaber, so I'm a pretty freaking happy baby. So other than that, that's it. I love you guys. Bye.
Yeah.
My time has come. You must continue your journey without me.
What are you? What? Master! You can't leave me.
You must believe.
Master!